All right, guys, in today's video, we're going to be doing like a laptop maintenance type video. We're working on this 2019 Apple Macbook Air that I use out in the shop. And you can see here with the backlighting, what we've got is a couple of keys where the paint has wore off, the genuine OEM keys. You can see that on the S and the C here, but also a little bit on the A and a little bit on the L. So those 4 keys we need to replace. It's a pretty simple job. I'll show you how to do it. All right, guys, let's start removing these keys. Let me show you how you get them off on these MacBook Airs. Now, there's a couple of different tools. If we just pan over here a little bit, you know, something like this, like a guitar pick type tool, something like this, like a spudger type tool, or also something like this with a little plastic pry on the end of it. Any one of these should work. Now, if we're going to come back to the key, we'll start with the S over here first. The MacBook Air keys have 2 hooks on the bottom and 2 snap-in clips on the top, at least on this 2019 model. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pressing down on the bottom, and then we're going to be working the top off. So I'm going to slide this tool in under here, and then what I'm going to be trying to do, I'm going to have to block your view a little bit, I'm going to come in on the other side. We want to get the key without getting the little spring that's underneath. As soon as we can get a tool to fit in here, and get it off that little hinge, we'll be in business. There we go. All right. There, I got that to let go. Now if we zoom in here and look at this guy, you can see if we zoom in really close and get it in the light, right? We've got a clip here, and then there's like a little hook on the backside. Right, so that's hook's going to go on to those 2 pins, and the clips are going to snap on to those 2 pins. So we're going to try the same thing. We'll use the spudger tool this time. I'm going to press down on this side. We're going to kind of squeeze it in here. Let me see if I can get a little bit more light on this. No real tool fits on these MacBook Airs really well. I guess I'm going to have to say the spudger tool is probably the least desirable. Let me try the guitar pick. Yeah, that guy comes in there a lot nicer. That snaps it off just fine. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and do the same thing for the L and the A, and then I'll show you what we're replacing it with. All right, guys, we got these off. Just going to show you one more thing before we switch to replacing them. So on these MacBook Air ones, you can see there's like a thin membrane covering this white hinge on each of these keys. So just be aware that you've got that too. It might rip and it might get damaged, and if it does, it's not a huge deal. The main thing you want to make sure is you've got your pins in all 4 corners and that this guy is properly seated. Sometimes this white spring will lift out and you'll need to get it snapped back in. All right, so what are we replacing it with? Well, I'll tell you what we're not replacing it with. I've tried these kind of Chinese replacements in the past, and I'll try to get you a shot of all the bad reviews on Amazon. These really don't work for MacBook Airs. It's kind of stuck to the plastic there. Let me get this out, and I'll show you why. So the problem with these is they're not the same size as the keys on the MacBook Air. So here's the L, one of the ones that we would need, right? And I'm actually going to replace this with used OEM keys. And I'll put a link in the description of where I get these from. So there's the L that's OEM. Right? So we look at it. You can't really tell too much difference just looking at it. You get them side by side. I don't know if you can tell here, but they're just slightly different. If we flip it over, make sure we're comparing apples to apples here. They're just slightly different, and it's enough that it won't activate. This center piece is too large for the Air, and so it has to press down on this membrane, and it's too big. So it makes it where when you put it on there, it's not going to push down all the way. So that's why I don't use these. I kept this just to show you guys. All right, so what we're actually going to replace it with is this OEM key. So again, we got these hooks in the back and clips in the front. Hopefully that is coming through enough for you to see. And so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get it attached in the back hinge first by pushing down and rearward. And then we're going to attach it in the front, click, and click. And that's it. So now let's do the others. So this particular seller that I have linked also will give you some replacement hinges if you need them as well, as you see here. So they're coming out along with the keys. We're looking for the C key next. Same deal. Get it down on the bottom. Push it towards the space bar. Press it down. Left click. Right click. All right, that key's replaced too. Same with the A and the S. Push back, left click, right click. And finally the S key. All right, never force anything. Push back, left click, right click, left click. All right, and that's how you replace these keys, guys. Now we don't have this, messed up look where the paint has worn off over the years for whatever reason on these keys. I hope this helps you out. If you got questions or comments on this quick and easy repair, go ahead and leave a comment below and I'll try to help. I'll put links in the description for where I got these from if you're looking for the same thing to repair your MacBook Air keys. If you found this video useful and saved you some money, take a moment to pay it forward and hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching.